Welcome back, everyone. It's another week of It's Basically Monday, where we're coming to you on a Friday. But we made it. I mean, it's only been like 1 week since we last did this, which is not too bad. It is now September 6th, 2024. How's it going, guys? Anything new happened this last week? Did we do anything? I've been moving. Like, it's just been lots of boxes, lots of work. So like this week has flown by for me. Like literally it feels like we just recorded yesterday. So yeah, nothing crazy here. What
What part
about
of your body is the most sore?
my knee, my one knee, like just my left knee. I don't understand why. Like,
Maybe it's about to rain.
dude, it does look like it's about to rain too. And it just happened. You know what? That might be it. Like honestly, like for real though, I
No.
think it's weather related. Like, cause today is like abnormally cold and
Oh, okay, well.
and it just happened today. Like I was fine when I went to bed last night, and then this morning it's like my knee kind of is sore.
So then you're actually you did pretty well. You don't have any moving injuries. It's just
Yeah,
wear and tear. It would have been that way anyways.
that's true. Have you ever seen me like when I like throw out my back or whatever and I can't walk?
No, usually you're in a chair when that happens.
So yeah, no, that didn't happen. Like I feel like that has happened, and like I think last time that happened, like I dug a small hole in the backyard, because I found like some like mystery animal feces. I was like, this is gross. Like I'm not gonna like carry this all the way to garbage. I was like, dig a hole and knock it in like a couple inches under the ground, and like I dug the hole, and then like it was a very small hole, and it's like as soon as I like put the last finishing touch on like filling it back in with the dirt, like that last shovel full of dirt, picking it up, my back just like it just I felt it. It just like oh fuck. It's like it doesn't work anymore. And like from then on, like I
So when
forget, like one of my legs just like didn't work.
whoa, okay. Holy shit. So you threw your back on, then your leg stopped working? That sounds like
Yeah, like for some reason it was like that one side of my back, like connected to like
no, that sounds like a spinal problem.
yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's what
Uh,
happened. And it
That's
got better after like a couple days or a week or so. But yeah, I had to walk around with like a broomstick as like a walking cane.
oh
Like I
god.
just unscrewed the broom portion because you can like screw it on and off, and I just walked around with that stick.
Did you put a tennis ball on the end of it?
Dude, I wanted to so bad. Like I couldn't find any tennis balls though, but I
Dang.
thought about it. I was like, let's maximize how old this is making me feel right now.
That's how you know you're not in a dog household. Not a single tennis ball.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't think we have any either.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
man, you got one.
Mm,
I bet you $2.
$2? Like you don't sound very confident about that.
yeah,
No, I'm pretty confident. It's just like that. It's just like a fun little.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you'd make $2 on that.
Okay.
The only tennis balls we've even like had around the house were ones that Nova might have found or something when they were on a walk, but we don't usually let them bring them in the house.
So they're
Yeah.
like outside possibly?
There's one on your front.
No, no, no. Like they were like they that was something that happened a long time ago, but we've since thrown those away.
Nah, man. Tennis balls are funny. Like they kind of show up everywhere.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of on Guda's side with this. Like, even though you
Okay.
seem really confident and it's your house and we don't even live there,
Yeah,
I
I'm not
feel
gonna try to
like
convince you if you think you're more sure about what's going on in my house than I am.
I feel
That's
like I
fine.
know your house better than you do, and
Yeah.
there's some tennis balls over there.
All right.
No, actually, like I would say I'm just kidding, but like seriously, like Guda's right. Like tennis balls, like seem to just appear. Like I'm surprised. Like I actually am surprised that you really are like this truly like confident that there are no tennis balls like completely.
'Cause
But
we don't buy tennis balls.
I don't either. But I'm pretty sure I have like I would also take the bet that I would find a tennis ball if I kept looking in my house.
Yeah, but didn't you both play tennis at some point?
It's not
Yeah,
about that.
that's
It's
true.
You're saying that has no impact on what we're talking about?
no, it's just like an object
Okay.
that, like
Okay.
it's just like around for some. They just like I don't know, like yeah, dogs like have them and then throw them somewhere, and then like they roll into like someone's like gutter, and then it's just there for like years and years. It
They
happens all the time.
they don't degrade. Tennis
Okay.
balls are like when they find up like when they dig up like evidence of our like civilization in like 3,000 years, they're gonna be finding tennis balls and be like, they built these majestic balls and they're still here. These fuzzy neon balls. What would they use them for?
All right. I mean, yeah, that has not been my experience. I'll say that. Normally,
What about a
balls.
ping pong ball? Can you find
No.
like is there any chance there's a ping pong ball on your property?
I mean, sure. I'm not gonna say there's a 100% chance it's not, just because like obviously our house is old, so like on the property, I mean, like in the dirt somewhere, sure, there's a possibility, like a couple percent chance, because I can't know what's in the dirt. But like readily seen on the property, if I just move stuff around, no, probably not.
There's, there's definitely a tennis ball then.
No.
What about a ping pong? Like what
How
about you?
could there, how could there be a buried ping pong ball but not a buried
No,
tennis ball? There's
No, I'm not
gotta be.
saying there's. No, I'm saying the chances of the ping pong and the tennis ball are the same. But I didn't think that was the question. If you're asking me on my property means all the dirt underneath my house,
Yeah.
okay, I guess like you got me. Like, but I didn't think that's what we were talking about.
It's not like a got you thing. It's more like I just think it's interesting that they just kind of show up anywhere. It's probably less interested in more like Valero's view of it. It's just like they're gonna be like, wow, these motherfuckers just litter these balls everywhere for no reason.
Yeah, when you said look, I thought you meant look as in look around your house, not like dig up all the dirt on your land.
Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't really count that. Like if you have to start digging under the ground, that doesn't count.
Yeah, and I think that's
Like
probably the best chance you have at finding a tennis or ping pong ball in my house. Now, is there could there be a ball in there? Because we found all types of weird stuff in the dirt, but yeah, I don't think about those things because like yeah, they're not like something I can see on my property regularly. And a
what
tennis ball,
about you,
I'd say you
Judah?
probably have a better chance at finding a ping pong ball than a tennis one.
Yeah, that's why I asked about that one because I know like we've played like cup pong and stuff. At least like in college, like so like maybe you would have like somehow retained like a ping pong ball from doing
Mm.
that at some point.
Yeah, see that's another thing. Like I throw things away regularly. Like at least once a year, I just have a purge where like if it's something that's in my property that I don't use, it's just gone. Like it'll be
Once a
thrown away.
year, you purge everything.
Oh yeah, at least.
Interesting.
I don't like having things in the house that don't serve a purpose. So like if it's
Well,
I won't throw away like mindless stuff, but if it's just mine and I'm not using it, like yeah, I'm not gonna keep it. I hate this stuff just taking up space. So that's why I was so sure about that kind of thing. Just because like I know I haven't purchased anything like that, but yeah, maybe you never know with
Yeah,
Danielle.
tennis ball or ping pong ball, that doesn't take up any space. Like if I find that, I'm not purging those things. Like I would just keep them somewhere. Like, oh, I'll use this again. Like especially the ping pong ball. Actually, both of them. Like if I had any of those, I could play with them with my cats for either of them.
Yeah, but see, like I don't base something's utility based on what I could do with it. I base it on what I have done with it. So like you could make that argument for just about anything. Well, I could use this thing that I haven't used in 2 years, but and that's how people's house just gets filled with shit that they never use.
Interesting.
So I usually go, have I actually used this in the last year? And if I had never found it, would I have even missed it? If the answer is no, then I'm gonna probably throw it away or give it away, like donate it or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's That's pretty reasonable.
Where's the place to do that in your town? Do you guys have Goodwill?
We have like thrift stores that take a whole bunch of stuff. And then if it's like toddler or baby related clothes, we there's like a nurse, there's like a lady who works with families who are having newborns and stuff. We donated a bunch of stuff to them. Um, and then yeah, there's a Goodwill like 30 minutes away, so we've given some stuff to them too. So yeah, there's spots.
What about you, Guda? Is there a ping pong ball in your house somewhere? I mean, I bet just like you said, we're gonna find a
Yeah,
tennis ball
I know
somewhere.
exactly where it is.
A ping pong ball?
Hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely both of those in my house, like somewhere. Like,
So what are some other things that you think are in most people's houses? Either one of you can answer.
Ants.
Oh,
ants?
okay. I should pref po-
Ants?
po-
Like,
po-
who says that?
possessions. I mean, not like creatures.
What? I think that you've never seen an ant in your house. You're fucking lying.
It's true, like, there's
Wait,
always ants.
you've seen an ant in your house, right, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Well, there
every
you go.
year is a constant battle with the ants and keeping their populations low enough so they don't invade the house. That's
Hmm.
kind of crazy, though. Yeah, that doesn't count as a possession.
Okay.
Yeah, possessions. I should have been more specific.
Like besides like a bed, a couch, like those things that like you for sure use like every
Right.
day.
Yeah.
Do you have like an old school notebook? Like a loose leaf, not loose leaf, but like what do they call it where they just have like the lines on them where you're supposed to write on them?
A notebook,
A
like a
notebook.
spiral
Yeah,
notebook.
yeah, yeah, a spiral
Um,
notebook, yeah.
I personally don't, but I'm sure there is one in the house because I'm sure Danielle probably has one somewhere. But no, I never kept it. I threw all that stuff away.
I feel like that's like one of those things that like I haven't used in 10 plus years, but I bet I can find one somewhere in my house
Yeah, see, like I
because
don't
of
understand.
that.
See, I don't understand. Why are you keeping that?
Like, what if you like need a notebook at some point? Like, what if the power goes out and like all I want to do is just like write some shit down
Has that ever
and like
happened
my
to you?
phone's dead? Like 10 years ago, probably, yeah.
So when you got the notebook.
No, the notebook is honestly probably from high school, which is even longer than that
Oh,
then.
okay, interesting.
But a notebook doesn't like it's not like I have like notebooks everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I
not.
bet I can find one, maybe two. So like, it
Yeah,
doesn't take up that much space. Like,
yeah, I'm not making the argument that these things individually take up a lot of space. I'm saying if you add up all the things that you make that justification with, you could probably fill a closet, a small closet.
yeah, and that sounds about right. Like, because that's about how much extra junk of boxes that I generally don't open, but sometimes I do if I'm like really looking for something. And like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like every once in a while, I'll be like, you know what? I'm almost certain that I have this thing that I'm looking for. Like I have seen it in my possession somewhere. And since I keep most little things, at least like one of them, like if I have like a ton of them, then I'll throw most of them away, but then I'll keep like at least one or two if it's like something I think I'll never use.
Hmm.
All for that just in case moment. And yeah, that's about right. I
I
have about a
guess.
closet's worth of boxes
So I guess I
that
have
I
a notebook.
generally never go through.
I do have a notebook here, but I don't know if this counts because it's like one of those. Like it has lines on it and I can write in it, but it's like one of those notebooks where you're supposed to like upload the notes to like a computer or something.
What?
Yeah,
Not
it's got like a
to do
QR code on it and every on each page. It's
what
kind
the hell? I've never heard of
it's kind of
any of
weird.
this.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and
I've never heard of
I
this.
have written in this, but like yeah, I didn't buy this. Someone at work got us these. So yeah, technically I do
Wait,
have a notebook.
so
There you go.
you scan the QR code and then I'm assuming you have to take a picture of it with your phone and then like it lets you upload it somewhere?
I actually don't know how it works. I've never used it that way, so I don't know. I don't really see the purpose in uploading notes. I could just type it onto the computer myself. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me.
Right. Like, and also if you wanted to like just have it in digital form,
Yeah.
like you could just take a picture of it and just stop it there. Like
But
you don't
some
have to
people
scan
like
the
taking
QR code.
notes by hand, but they also want to have a digital copy. So I guess this is kind of a way for them to marry the two.
Yeah, I guess if you take like a lot of notes, it might be nice to like organize them all in one place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you have like any sort of uh like cloud storage, I feel like that's kind of perfect for that. Like just take a picture, upload it to your cloud, and just like forget about it. That's another thing actually. Like how many old that's another thing that I keep. Like I have a lot of old files that I'll probably never ever go back to. But like I don't
Mm.
ever want to delete it. Like yeah, like I don't want to delete it. Also like I don't really have to because like as the years have gone by, the size of those files like becomes less and less with like the inflation of hard drive sizes. So it's not like that big of a deal to keep like 500 megabytes worth of junk from the early 2000s now because like I have like terabytes of hard drive space. But yeah, that's another like I have like copies of like maybe like almost every single computer that I've had. I have a copy of the hard drive on another hard drive of mine. So if I ever needed, I can go back into that computer and go back into like my documents and like look for something I might have been working on or
Have you ever
do
done?
I ever do
I
that?
was gonna say, have you ever done that?
I have done it like before. Have I done it in the last like
How many times in the last
maybe like
10,
two
10
years
years?
ago was the last time
Okay.
I've went through like an old computer's files
How many times in the last
and
10 years would you say you've done it?
less than 10 for sure by far like probably less than 5 even
Okay.
which is not a big amount at all.
Honestly, that's better than the tennis ball.
Yeah, because like how I haven't used a tennis ball and I couldn't tell you how long. That's
Yeah.
true. And at least with the files, like it's like stuff that I put time into. Like you don't put time into obtaining a tennis ball, so it's like not that big of a deal if you don't like have one or you can't find it. But like a lot of the times, like the things I'll look for is like, oh, I wonder what happened to like this old project like I've been working on from like years and years ago, and yeah, that's mostly what it is. Or like maybe some old pictures that like would mean a lot if I can like find them again.
Hmm.
Yeah, what about so I'm guessing you don't have like a hard drive worth of hard drives, John. So like when
No.
you get a new computer, do you just like throw it all away, just like kiss all your files goodbye?
Well, most of my devices these days are Apple devices, so it's all in the cloud anyway. So most of the pictures I've taken for the last at least 6 or 7 years are stored somewhere. Like they're just attached to your Apple account. Like so, yeah. That's I don't really think about that much. But the the amount of time I actually spend looking through those is not very often, unless Apple themselves say like, here's a memory from whatever, whatever, or like they put some collection together, which occasionally they do that. They do that with like Mila's photos a lot. So like they put together pictures from when she was really small, which is kind of fun. But otherwise, no, I would not use that. Danielle does have a. I know she keeps almost all of her old devices. Like she has a whole container full of old stuff like that. I do not keep stuff like that. I used to be really bad about keeping like the boxes that things came in, like the actual like iPhone or like MacBook boxes, but I just sort of like how new things smell. It's like this weird chemically smell. But I
Yeah.
stopped doing that too. I just threw them away now. But yeah, I don't really keep that kind of stuff. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
another thing I keep. I keep all of my game systems, but now like I haven't bought a game system since I started using a PC, and I don't keep all my old PCs, so
Yeah, the
I just
moment I
keep
got
them
a
outside.
PC, I sold my Xbox.
Yeah, I still have a Super Nintendo. I still have an original Nintendo actually.
I can kind of understand that. That seems like a
Yeah,
somewhat collector's item.
yeah. Huh.
I would keep that if I had those things.
So you don't have like a hard drive that if someone got they'd have everything like a black box.
No. Why would I keep that?
I know Gouda has one. I'm pretty sure. Like I feel like surely you do. Like
Are you asking me?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I figured because I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I've like gotten clues that there must be something like that in existence before. Yeah, I mean, like, what else are you supposed to do if like you don't have a cloud? You got to keep your files.
I mean, all important files now I like have paper copies of, so I'll just like keep them in an actual safe. That's the only it's the only thing that I have that it's like meant to keep stuff in, like old stuff.
That's
Otherwise,
another thing. Yeah,
no.
what do you guys do with papers? So you have a safe where you keep papers?
Yeah, it's in that closet behind me. It's like a fire. It's like a little fireproof safe that's locked.
How big is it?
It's like this by this. It's pretty thick.
Like it's like a summer
It probably.
going out to the beach cooler.
Kind of. I mean, I feel like it's a little thicker than that, honestly. It's pretty heavy. That's definitely not it. Hold
At
on.
first, I was like, dude, that's a
This
plastic
is the
box.
Yeah, he's like that's not
like
it.
that's not secure.
It's this.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like it's like a little bit smaller, I guess, than like
Yeah.
a going out to the beach cooler. Like just barely though.
So like house documents, car, purchases, that kind of shit. Oh, wills. Like our wills are in there. That kind of shit.
Like how do you decide like because like I get so much paper that you're supposed to keep for your financial records. Like, and it's like good practice to like keep these things, but like I don't. Like I try to, but what ends up happening is they all just go in like a pile of like when I got them, and then like I just stash them somewhere eventually because they need to get put away. And
Yeah.
then eventually like I'll uncover all these like little stashes of all these like random like time periods of papers that I collected. And then I'll be like, this is like so unorganized. Even if I needed to go back and find anything, I couldn't because like it's not even close to worth it. So then I'll just throw all of that away and then I just start over. Like,
I
so like I
only.
have like important things like my birth certificates, like
Yeah.
those things. Like that's like in a safe, like you said. But like I don't add all my other stuff that you're supposed to keep for your financial records to that because like my safe it also isn't as big as yours. It's like a smaller one. It's like a lunchbox size kind of like a
Okay.
big lunchbox. But like my parents, like they have like boxes like
Well,
they
they're
have
from a
like
different
an
era.
entire like half a closet worth of like these boxes that you're supposed to keep papers in, like these cardboard boxes that you put together. I think you buy them from like Office Depot or something like that, or Office
Yeah.
Max. And they just have like they have one for each year basically. So like and there's a room in their house that is just like a huge stack of boxes with the years on it, going back to like the 90s or 80s or something like that.
Yeah. See, that's
So
a bit
like,
overkill. I think the measure of like what you should keep for me is usually determined by like how important the thing is, and then how many other places would have to have some type of record of it. So like, I don't keep bank statements because what for what? What for? First of all, I bank with Chase. They have pretty much the last 10 years of our bank statements on file. I can pull out whenever I want to. And
yeah,
I think they're required to keep a certain amount of years, but they keep most years anyway. Then like pay stubs. Like if I don't we don't get physical pay stubs. We just if we wanted to log into something we could. Plus again, Chase has like the transaction history of us getting the deposits anyway. So like if there's enough people who are tracking the same thing, I usually don't. It's also like do is what is the consequence if you don't have it? So like the consequence of not having a bank statement's kind of low, I feel like, but the
it's
consequence
true.
of not having the exact terms of like your mortgage or like the car you bought from someone, if it's your word versus theirs, that could be much more detrimental. So that kind of stuff I keep. That's kind of how I decide. But like when I get like we get once a year we get papers about like your property taxes are going up. Keep these for your records. And just like no, I'm not gonna keep this for my
Yeah, like
records.
they always say that. I was like, like,
Yeah. I'll keep it
like
until I
for
get the
what?
first. I usually keep it until I get the first bill that says here's your new property taxes and it's gone up. Then I immediately know the mortgage company has records of it going up. So now I can throw it away.
so annoying. I feel like also I have to keep more papers because I haven't been like the way I do my taxes isn't like a W-2, so like it's just super easy. Like I have to like do my own taxes basically, and you're supposed to like keep like all these records of transactions just in case you get audited. And then on top of that, like
You don't
the
use like a
IRS is
system
so
for it?
no, yeah, I just like well, I mean like you said, like my bank has like records of everything. So like when I do my taxes, like
Yeah.
it's not hard. Like I just go to my bank, look up everything, and
I
that's
meant
all
more
I
like
have to
a
do.
QuickBooks or something that can automate some of the stuff for you.
No, not for my personal stuff. No. Like honestly, like what I have done for my personal taxes is I just like add up like everything that I made for the year, like just by hand, like on a notepad. And
Okay.
then I tell my accountant and say, "Hey, this is how much I made this year." And he's like, "Okay." And then he just does my taxes. I'm like, that's just he's like, "This is how much you owe then." Like
Sounds
so
like you
there's
could
like
do that on TurboTax.
yeah, it costs about the same amount as TurboTax, but he's like an actual person, so I kind of like that. Because like he'll just do like little extra things for me. But yeah, usually like TurboTax, don't you like need to like enter your bank account information or some shit? I don't even know. Like
No,
I have no
I
idea.
never
I
had
just know
to.
it's like
I've never had to give TurboTax my bank account information unless I have to like tell them where to send the money if I'm getting a refund, or tell them where to take the money if I'm paying them.
okay,
Otherwise, I'm just providing W-2s. Like, but I understand like for you, you're saying it's not a W-2, so that's a little bit more difficult. But yeah, a W-2 or and then like investment account records and usually, and then they just ask me some questions about like Mila, and that's usually it. Like it's usually pretty quick.
yeah. And that's another thing. Like yeah, investment account stuff. Like there's just so much shit, dude. Like
But usually the
there's so
investment
much
account
shit.
stuff, it's usually like a form that just they just send you an email. They're like, "Hey, the form's ready," and I just log on. I never have the paper in my hand. I don't keep those. They're just all like, oh, I hear an echo. So like it's all just in the like it's on for us. It's like Charles Schwab. So it's just on there, and they have like years of them on there. So yeah, those I don't like paper. I don't keep those.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Fuck
They
that
tell me I
paper.
should keep them, so I get scared. I'm just like, I have to keep them, and then I try to keep them, and then it doesn't work, and then I don't keep them.
So you don't keep them anyway.
Speaking of banking and transactions, have you guys heard about this infinite money glitch stupidity?
I only heard a little bit about it, only in passing.
Have you heard anything about it, Kuda?
Same. Only like I know that it exists and that they issued a statement saying that it's fraud.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I just know
this
it's
is
fraud.
good old-fashioned check fraud. So basically, like somehow it it became like a trending thing where like mostly it was like hood people. Like they were like, "Hey man, I
Shocker.
just realized like if you if you if you write a check to yourself and deposit it, even if like you don't have any money to back it up, like he's like the check won't go through, but they'll still let you withdraw like a percentage of the check before it clears. It's like thus making it so like you could just keep giving yourself more and more money. And they like there's literally like TikToks of people like doing it. Like this one guy had like thousands of dollars like in his hand and he was just throwing money up in the air because like he thought he could just keep getting more. Like he was like literally just like outside just like throwing it in there. He's like, dude, this is like so easy. I don't have to worry about money anymore ever again.
Like in
Like
Mrs. Court.
yeah, like literally like recording all of this. And then like yeah, that's just check fraud. Like that's just like old fashioned like ever since checks have been around for like the last 100 years, like that has been a thing. Like it's like such an old trick that people forgot that it was a thing. Like that
I don't.
apparently they were
I
like,
don't think they
"Hey,
forgot. I think the people falling for it probably are too young to even know.
right, like humanity has somehow like we didn't even tell the young generations to not even do this because like we were like who would do it?
Yeah.
Like no one even talks about it. Like you encourage your your kids obviously like hey don't steal stuff don't like don't commit fraud. Like, yes, you know this, but like, I'm assuming no one has told these people that when you write yourself a bad check, that is check fraud. Like,
First of all, why would you write yourself a check? Like, let's just take aside the fact for a moment that you don't actually have the money. Where would the money be coming from if you're writing it to yourself?
yeah, there's like, I don't know, we don't have to worry about it.
So surely
I
they
got
were.
$300 of cash in my hand.
So surely they must have been writing it from some fake institution to themselves. So yeah, that's
That's
fraud.
the yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fraud.
yeah,
That's just fraud.
yeah. Either that or they have checks that go to a real bank account, but there's just no money in there. But like Chase still lets you withdraw like a certain percentage of the check before it clears.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like Chase fucked up. Like, why you would even allow such a thing to happen? Like, why is that? Like,
It's
is
because
I don't know. How can you even like write a check to yourself?
well, I don't think they were
Unless
writing
it's
it to
the whole
themselves.
trick in the book. Like,
I
why was
hope
it
not,
capable of being done on the app?
because
No,
of
they
the
did
way
write it to themselves.
they did or they
Like
didn't.
you can have like two bank like if you have two bank accounts at
Right.
Chase,
Yeah.
you can take one bank account, write a check from that bank account, and have it deposited to yourself in
But
the old
even, but see, like
other
even
bank
that's
account.
stupid. Have you either one of you bank with Chase?
No,
Okay, so we do, and we have for a long time. If you had two accounts with Chase, when you log
you
in,
just
both
transfer
accounts are
money.
right there. You just transfer it. That makes no. Why the fuck would you be writing a check to get the money from one account to another? Like you're just burning paper for no reason. And
Which
then you
just
got on your
point.
phone and like mobily deposited it, so like you did even more work for nothing. Like if you did
No,
it that way,
man,
that's even
it wasn't for
crazier.
nothing. It was for infinite
Yeah.
money.
But yeah, to Guda's point of like why that's allowed, it's kind of the same reason why when you deposit money into an investment account, you can pretty much immediately access it if you like to buy stocks because basically the institution is fronting you the money. They assume that like you're good for it until they can clear the funds. So yeah, like because if you didn't do that, basically everything would take 2 to 3 business days to clear, and then you'd never be able to use your money right away. So yeah, there has to be some type of like front man in order to like clear all of your purchases for like trading. They call it like a clearinghouse. That basically just says, yeah, we're gonna put up the money so that transactions can move at the speed of light, and you can just do it at your normal pace. Otherwise, like, can you imagine you get a check and then you have to wait till like after the weekend for the money to clear? Like you just can't use them. Like you'd be fucked. And I'm
I
sure a lot of
remember.
people just like,
I
what?
remember living like that
Yeah,
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 when I
yeah,
first started working.
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and I guess people complained about that enough where they're like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, that stopped.
Yeah, I guess the bank, that's like a feature that they can advertise to their customers.
Yeah,
Like, hey, like you don't have to wait 2 days. Like
Oh,
it's the trust system. Like you can take out
right.
some of the money now. Like,
that's what
ooh,
that's what ACH is.
ACH. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
automated clearinghouse.
Yeah, yep.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't feel bad for Chase at all. Like banks have been making like record profits. Um,
Well, it won't. Yeah, it won't
like
hurt. It won't hurt Chase. They're just gonna make you unbankable. Like, if you're someone
yeah,
who did this and you put it on, if you did it normally, you're probably gonna have a hard time getting a bank going forward. If you did it and put it online, you might as well just sign up for a Cash App for the rest of your life. Like that. Like you're only gonna be able to deal with Cash App and Venmo. That's the only people that are gonna
like
take you.
yeah, you're just gonna have a Visa gift card.
Honestly,
Like
PayPal might
that's
might
it.
not even take you. They've
Yeah,
gotten stricter in the recent years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah. I think they made PayPal be a bank now. They're just like, look,
Yeah.
people have been using you like a bank. Like we're forcing you to
Yeah.
adhere to bank
They're
rules.
like PayPal's like we're just sending money from one place to another. They're like, no, no, that's called
It's
a
like,
bank,
no.
my friend.
It's like, yeah, you can like put money in, we'll hold it for you, keep it
Yeah.
safe, like it's
Yes.
fine, but
And the
we're not gonna.
government's like, so you're a bank. They're like, no, 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 no. Just a
It's
place
like
where you
no,
store your money, sometimes
because like,
forever.
yeah, PayPal's like, have you ever seen one of our vaults? No, so of course we're not a
Yeah.
bank. We're just on the
Oh,
internet, like,
no, we're just your pal, your pay pal.
yeah, it's just a website. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what a
Yeah, I thought that
place.
was hilarious. Like how? Like how are people so stupid? Like I just don't understand. Like no one like these guys like didn't think like that this money is like coming from somewhere and someone is gonna like notice that like suddenly like thousands and thousands of dollars like it's just gone. It's like the same with the PPP loan fraud people. Like there's like yeah, it's super easy. Like to get a PPP loan, you just have to like submit an application and just say you're worth $6 million, and then they'll give you a bunch of fucking money. But like obviously like it was their fault for not like having in some sort of system to like check and verify like if you had that much money or if you needed that much money. So like it was just like the honor system, I guess, and like so like people just took advantage of it. But at the end of the day, like it caught back to all of them because like the accountants then like run it back and
Yeah.
like do the work, look at the research, and instantly find out that like no, like you don't actually make that much money and thus you should have never been eligible for this loan.
Yeah, and I'm pretty
And
sure
on top of that,
there's no
it's a
like
loan.
statute, is there? There's like they're not gonna limit how long they can go after you for that. I heard. Like apparently they're just those
Interesting.
cases are just gonna be open forever. Like if you
Like
fuck
will
that up,
forever.
you're just on the hook.
Like you might as well move to Russia. Like
Yeah.
and
Yep.
like on top of that, it was a loan. Like the entire time, even like if no one ever looked into it, you still always had to pay it back. So I don't really know like so if like you take out like $1 million loan, like you do have to pay that back. Like I
Mm.
guess like it makes sense if you had like a way to make money on that, then like you could technically like make the money, keep the initial like loan payment. So in case anyone comes asking for it back, like you have it still, but then you have like a bunch of money you made using that money. Like, but even that, it's still fraud and illegal. But like, at least you'd have the money to pay it back and thus maybe get out of like some trouble that you're in. But like a lot of these people, they just didn't do it. They just
If but see
took out the
like
loans
even
and
in
just bought expensive cars.
even in that scenario that you brought up of like if you had a way to make the money back, if that were true, you wouldn't need the money in the first place. So
Well, like
if you were so good at making money, you wouldn't need to get the PPP loan.
you could. That's not true. Like if you had $1 million, you could put it into like any like stock fund and thus make a ton of money. That you could have put all your money into the same stock fund before you had $1 million, but you wouldn't have
Uh,
made nearly as much
But
money.
but that's my point. If people knew that the person you're talking about would have to have just discovered the stock market at the moment PPP loans came about. Otherwise, they would have been already investing in the stock market and they wouldn't need PPP loans.
I mean, like I could have done that. Like I've been investing in the stock market for 10 years, but I can't make money in the stock market because I don't have like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I make like change, like some cash here and there on the
I,
stock market, but I'll never be able to make like a ton of money.
I would
Like I
say
could do the same moves with $1 million and make way more money, but just because I don't have the capital, that's what's stopping me.
you think so you think
So you
wait, so if you think that if you had $1 million right now, you'd have enough money to do what you're saying they should have done and pay the loan back?
Yeah. Like I'm saying if I had more
You should go
money
apply for a
and made
loan.
all the exact same trades that I've made in the last 10 years, but just simply using more money, I would have a lot more money than I would have made a lot more money than I have made.
Okay. You should go apply for some loans then. Sounds
Yeah,
like
I mean like if I can get a loan that's like under
do you think you've made more than the
5%,
normal market return over the last 10 years?
yeah, I absolutely have, like for sure.
Average.
Yeah, definitely, like by far.
Okay, yeah, you should go apply for some loans.
Dude, honestly, like I could have like legally gotten a PPP loan.
Well,
I like
that would
I
have been
kind of regret that.
no, that would have been illegal.
No, I could have legally gotten a PPP
No,
loan.
because if you're using
Just
it to trade, then you're not using it for its intended purpose. That's fraud.
oh yeah, you're right. Well, could you not use it to
No,
trade,
you had to use
or
it
was
for
it
your.
only for employee compensation?
It was for employee compensation.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right. Then no, I couldn't. There was no way I could use it.
Yeah.
What if you
I can only use it for. Yeah, no, you can't get around that.
sorry, what if you hired an employee to trade on your behalf?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. Like, what if my employee was trading? Like, that'd be hilarious.
I just feel like if you have to do that much scheming to get a loan, you probably shouldn't get the loan. Like, if you're gonna have to do all of that, I think your plan is not as good as you think it is. It's
Yeah.
not as simple as you think. And if you think it is, please be my guest. I hope I'm wrong. Please, I'd love to see that you got rich doing it. I think it's very unlikely, but please, by all means, go right ahead.
Like, if I had $1 million, like if like and like you hear about like in a like an accidental like banking error like so and so like logged into their account and saw that they had $50 million in their account. And
Hmm.
like I've heard these stories and like sometimes people like just report it. That's what you're supposed to do, and then like the money gets taken away and like you're not rich, nothing happens. Sometimes people see that happens to them and they spend it and then they get sued by the bank or whoever the money originally belonged to, and then now they're forced to pay all that back, even though it wasn't their mistake to begin with. Like they still have to pay that back. But I always figured if that ever happened to me, if I just woke up with a $1 million bank error in my account, I would 100% just like put the money in some sort of super safe like fund or something and just wait and just keep it there. Like for as however long it took for anyone to notice. And then by the time someone notices, I would sell the fund, pay back the money, and then I'd have all this extra money that money had been making for me this entire time. Like,
I'm fairly certain that's not how it works. I'm pretty sure that they would come for the interest too.
I don't think they can because that's not their money.
Yeah, they can because you made it with their money.
That doesn't matter. But
Oh,
they
oh,
would.
I think the government would beg to differ.
I don't. I don't think so because
Okay,
just because you made
go
money
try
with
it.
someone else's money, that doesn't mean they would have made that money with that money. They might have
No,
lost that money. Like, there's no guarantee that they would have made that money. So, like, that was your doing, like, essentially. Like,
I would love to see you argue that against the government and see how it works.
I'm like fairly certain that's not illegal in any way to make money using someone else's
All right,
money,
then what
but
are we
not.
waiting for? Go get the loan. Let's go, baby. I'm just trying to see how it works.
Well, a loan you have to like pay back with interest. A banking error, you only have to pay back exactly what you got. And that's the difference. Like, so it's a lot better to trade with a banking error than a loan.
But
I
also
could trade with a loan.
the jail time you're forgetting.
No, yeah, and I'm like 99% sure that it's not illegal to make money with someone else's money that they accidentally gave you. As long as you pay back all the money, it's fine. Like there's no problem essentially. Like yeah, I don't
Okay.
understand what would be wrong with that. Like, what's morally wrong with that? What's legally wrong with that? I don't see
Well, morally is a
anything.
different story. Morally, you knew it wasn't your money. That's what's wrong with it morally. Say you.
But how is that wrong? Like, I gave them their money back as soon as they asked for it.
I just told you morally you knew it wasn't your money when it came to you
But how is that wrong? Like, what makes that
because it
wrong?
wasn't yours. That's what makes it wrong. That part, the part I keep
But
saying that it wasn't
I didn't do
yours.
anything. I didn't lose it or like do
It's
anything
not
with it.
about loss. It's about the fact that you kept somebody else's possessions and resources, and you knew that they knew that you weren't they didn't intend for you to have it. That's deceptive. That's necessarily deceptive.
I
If I'm
guess.
telling you I'm going to give you
Sure.
$10 and I accidentally give you 1,000 and you just hold on to the 1,000, you're not being a good friend by or you're not honoring our agreement
Yeah, that
by
is true.
keeping the 1,000.
Like, that's not necessarily like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
okay. I'll agree
morally,
with
yeah, I
that.
would think that that's pretty fucked. Now legally, I have no idea.
I'm like 99.99% sure legally that is okay. Because like let's say like I don't even know like how else to explain it. Like let's say I made the money in just like a different way. Like let's say like it was like a much smaller amount of money and I made it not in the stock market, but just using some other means. Like I could do it like I could say an example with my own company. Like let's say the bank accidentally put like $2,000 into like my company account and I use that $2,000 just unknowingly because like I'm spending and I'm saying unknowingly with my air quotations because like I knew like I do know so it's morally deceptive as you said but like obviously you wouldn't like if like someone came to me and said hey we made a mistake I wouldn't say yeah I saw that and I knowingly used it to do something so like obviously you would never say that so like you would say
Yeah,
just
but
you
but then
unknowingly
that
used it.
but that part is what is where the legality starts to have a problem because you lying in order to stay on the legal side of it doesn't make your actual actions legal. You're saying like part of fraud is your intention, like what you did versus what you knew it was for. So if you say I'm going to unknowingly
Unknowing.
do that, then and you knew that they did not intend for that, you did do it knowingly. That's a big. I feel like that's a big part of it.
I guess if something's that easily bypassed like legally like I honestly don't even like
It's
if all I have to do to get
the,
away with it is just simply say I didn't know, and then there's like, okay, that's fine. Like it's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with not knowing. Like you're fine. Like then like I'm just gonna say that I didn't know. Like yeah, but I guess yeah, you're right. Like if I did say yes, I knew the money was there by mistake and I used it, then I would expect there to be some sort of like legal
yeah.
repercussions.
And if the only
But like
thing if the
obviously,
only
yeah, you
thing
would
keeping you
never
on the
say
right
that.
side of the law is you lying about it, I don't think your actions are legal. You're just pretending like they are by again being deceptive by
Okay,
saying
well
you
then
didn't know.
this is a tutorial on not how to legally use the money, but how to not get caught.
Okay. Admissible in
uh,
court.
I have to change like what it actually is. Because yeah, like if you told the 100% truth, I'm sure. Yeah, I feel like yeah, that just like you're asking for something bad to happen to you. Like
Yeah.
maybe if they nothing legally, like as far as like criminally, like I feel like they would maybe be able to sue. You're just opening up yourself for so much terrible things if you just go ahead and admit that. But if you just simply don't admit that you knew and just say, "Oh, I didn't know," like, but
But
here's the
see,
money back,
like even
and like
that
you could get away with it,
it would have to be a small amount though, so that's why the $1 million piece would never work because
right?
you would never not know that all of a sudden you had $1 million. Like that's not real. Like sir, you had $2,000 per month coming to your account, and all of a sudden you were spending $500,000. How did that happen?
I was like,
I
I
don't even
accidentally
know.
typed in
Like
another zero,
I don't even understand
another
how it
three
happened.
zeros.
I started typing in extra zeros at the exact time you guys gave me extra money. Just don't even know how it happened. Like that would never
Yeah,
fly.
prove me wrong. Like
But yeah,
you can't.
an extra thousand, maybe an
But right,
extra,
yeah.
yeah. But it'd have to be so small that it wouldn't matter to your world anyway.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, if you had no money, zero, and then you got a million and just like suddenly like use that, would they even look into it, honestly? Like probably not. If they notice and be like, "Hey, we need the money." First off, the second the bank notices, they're not even going to ask you. They're just going to withdraw the money as long as it's in the account. And I'm assuming once they do that, as long as the withdrawal goes through just fine, they might not even like tell you or like ask you anything about it. Like as long as the money is there and they were able to like reverse the transaction, no matter how long it took to realize it, they might not even ever ask you. But right, that still doesn't change, like you said, doesn't change the implications if you were to go ahead and say, like if you went out of your way to the bank and called them and be like, hey, I have money and I'm using it right now. Yeah, that's probably like illegal or something. There's something not good with that.
Yep.
But if you don't say that, I think you would, and you didn't lose it, I think you could get away with making money on that mistake. But that'll never happen to me because no one's ever going to accidentally give me $1 million. So, but if it did, I think I would do that.
If you like ran into Mr. Beast at the grocery store and he just gave you 500K, you'd be like totally in the clear to do what you're doing, right? Like there's no like, is there strings attached to something like that?
Of money without severe taxes.
Yeah, you have to pay taxes on it.
Like
Yeah.
anything under over like 13,000 something or 14,000 has like a gift tax associated with it.
Well, I mean,
Well, like
you could use it for this whatever, this interest scam that you're trying
yeah, I guess if
to
it was a
pull.
loan by Mr. Beast, then you don't have to pay taxes on that. And if I gave him the money back, then yeah, there is no.
All right, so what if like, so what if it's like a thing where he just puts a GPS coordinates on one of his social medias, and then if you go there, you just
Oh,
find it. He didn't like give it
You're,
to you.
that's still considered a gift.
I'm
Oh,
breaking it.
okay.
What the
Yeah.
hell?
It would be
So,
considered like a giveaway or winnings of some sort. And yeah, that would it would still apply. It's the same way of like you winning money at the casino. Like if you win over a certain amount, they have to file it and like report it to the IRS.
so if you find, so the people that like go to the beach, like with their metal detectors, if you get something in value that's over whatever the threshold, then you gotta report
Um,
report it.
not unless you're not if you don't sell it. If you're just keeping it as memorabilia and it's sitting on a, I guess if it's not being exchanged for currency, then probably not. But if it's in the
No, let's
form
say,
of currency already, then yeah.
no, let's say it's like that's like part of like what I do. That's like I'm a content creator and like I'm like metal detector guy
Hmm.
and I put what I find on whatever and people I like make ad revenue from people looking at what I found.
Hmm.
Does that count as I'm making money on it?
No, because that would just be content, and you're already going to be taxed on the ad revenue that you're making anyway.
Oh, see, man, that's a good angle. If you just want to
But
become like
within the
a
moment you sell it, you have to pay taxes on it.
no,
Whatever
I'm
the
not
things
talking
you find.
about no, not selling it, but if you wanted to become uh an internet treasure hunter,
Oh, yeah, I think those gotta exist somewhere. I wonder how many of those there
you
are.
know detector guys and the magnet fishing guys. But I haven't seen any videos where people are literally like going out with a shovel and like it's time to it's yeah, it's time to find the treasure chest or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that would be, yeah, that'd be hard. I feel like even that would cost a lot of money. Like, can you imagine how far you can actually dig with a shovel without like, without like the dirt just collapsing in on you? Like that was actually one of the stories that I read a while ago when I was looking at all those cave shits where like people would get trapped. Oh, there was one story where someone was at the beach, like this brother and sister were digging in the sand, and they dug so deep that the sand around them collapsed and one of them died. Like they just got buried in the sand.
Oh my God. So and then everyone was just watching it like,
Well,
wow,
they couldn't
you
get him.
totally got there, kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, they didn't even realize until it was too late, and then by the time they tried to dig out, I forgot which one of them died, but yeah, once they dug them out, they had already suffocated.
I don't know. I don't want to cast blame or judgment, but that's a little bit of negligence. Like,
I don't know.
I like
I would have never thought that you could dig a hole so deep in the sand at the beach that you could
that has that had to
collapse.
that had to have taken a while though, like more than an hour.
I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder.
You can go more than an hour like without laying eyes on your kid and just being like, well, okay, whatever. Especially at a beach.
Or maybe they were. Maybe they were watching them, but they were like, "Oh, they're just digging a hole, no big deal." And like they dug a hole that was about as tall as them, and then they if they crouched down to dig again, and the whole thing collapsed, like you're 6 feet underground, like you're fucked.
That's like we do that. We dig graves, like you were digging the
Yeah,
grave.
literally, yeah.
Yeah, no, like
I don't know.
you
I feel like that's such
you
a freak
could have done
accident.
a better job. Nope. Like
Well,
there's no fucking
honestly,
way
I would
that a
not have
kid
thought that that would
dig a
happen.
hole. Yeah, that goes above their head. Like you're not getting in that hole.
Well, see, I wouldn't have said that before I heard that story, but now that I heard that story, yeah, for sure, you're definitely not getting in that
Oh,
hole.
I would always say that.
See,
Like
I would not say
that's
that. I
the
would not
way.
have said that before. I would have been like, oh, you're just digging a hole. But now I'm like, digging a hole in the sand? Nah, you don't get in there.
You're getting no. If you're that deep, you could step on anything, like a tennis ball or a syringe. Or
Yeah.
like the rustiest, most infested screw or something. These things probably will not happen, but still, something about going below sea level, whether it be on land or at sea, I just really don't like it.
Hmm. Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
fair enough. Yeah.
That's weird. Just having I had to like restart my computer. What, did someone die on the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard this story about this this like brother and sister that were at the beach and they were digging a hole in the sand and apparently they dug so deep that the sand around them collapsed and only one of them made it out. The other one suffocated before they could be dug out.
They actually died? That's
One of
kind of
one of them
crazy.
did, yeah.
That's wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wow.
insane. You can't even dig at the beach anymore. Crazy world.
Anymore, you never could.
You can't dig at the beach
Yeah.
anymore.
The warnings the warnings of the ocean.
Yeah, screw the ocean.
Yeah, the sand is just the ocean's devilish partner.
Yeah, they're all in on it together, trying to take you under, make you part of them.
That's hilarious.
Dude,
Just
what
like
is
those people on the yacht. Yo, I mean, if any of you guys ever get filthy rich and decide to buy any kind of like weird expensive toy, it shouldn't be any kind of like watercraft or submersible because it's like all the stories in the past year of people
A
getting these things.
watercraft. Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't buy like a boat, like a small
No,
boat.
you didn't see that yacht that like
No, not
went.
a yacht, like a boat that you take on the lake. Not anything you're gonna take on the ocean.
Nah, man, you gotta stay away from that.
So you
And
wouldn't go on a lake at all.
uh, I'm not sure I would anymore. No.
Wow. You'd have been
Yeah,
terrified when we went to the lake
it
the
depends.
other week.
It depends, like how close to shore you are.
I mean, we were on a boat last month, early last month when we went to the lake and we went out on the boat and like went tubing and stuff and like Mila and obviously everyone has on life jackets, but like Mila and Danielle like the little tube thing flipped over and they were just floating in the lake for a while until we had to like come get them. But it was only
Yeah,
for like 2 seconds. But
I have done that surprisingly, and I did
yes.
enjoy myself.
Oh,
And
okay.
but I don't think I would have enjoyed myself if I was wearing goggles and when I went in the water, I could like look beneath me. I would not have liked that.
Hmm.
So
No gogs. So you just don't want to
yeah,
know what's in the ocean or in the sea at all in the water.
well,
Yeah, I
well,
don't want to
yeah,
know either.
yeah. I don't want to know, and then also, and I just think it's not worth knowing. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's like I say, it's stupid. I think it's pretty common to be afraid of the deep blue.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go down there, but I'm curious what is down there. I think that's something good for someone else to figure out, not me.
Yeah, yeah, same. I want to know in general, but yeah, I don't want to find out personally, like in first person. Fuck that.
Yeah, not in first person shooter mode.
That's what a shitty place to die.
Ugh.
Like out at sea.
I think that's just
That's
as
how I
bad
Or
as
I
feel
mean,
dying
about
in
deep
space.
space.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I can't imagine. Like I've seen some movies where people's spacecraft have just been like their return pod or whatever just got catapulted into deep space. Like that would be a terrible way to go.
Yeah, it would. Oh, not even worth it.
Yeah,
Well, how long have we been going?
an hour.
An hour? Okay, I feel like that should be pretty good. Nice little Friday night check-in. I mean, I feel like an hour is more than a check-in. That's a good little hangout. Um,
I can't
all
believe
right.
those kids dug their own grave. Sorry, I just want
That
to.
is, yeah,
That's
that's a
really.
crazy way to die.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like
wow.
you're just having fun at the beach and you killed yourself.
Yeah, what a world. There's a lot of
That's
weird ways you
crazy.
can die these days.
Yeah, get away from there.
Yeah. Well, don't commit fraud, everyone. I
Yeah,
think
that's right. And if you do, don't tell them you knew. Don't be
such
like, this is
such
my
terrible.
admission or this is my confession. Admissible in court. I spent that money for sport.
Yeah, that is a terrible financial plan.
Oh man. Right, we'll end it here. We'll see you on the next one. I don't know if it'll be Monday or Friday, but we'll be back. Um, yeah, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.